Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Molly Claire, a master coach and leadership mentor dedicated to helping coaches and leaders create lasting change. With over a decade of experience, she specializes in teaching the science behind sustainable transformation by integrating brain, emotional, and behavioral insights. Molly's mission is to empower her clients to break free from old patterns and achieve consistent, meaningful growth, both personally and professionally. We're excited to have her share her proven approach to coaching that truly sticks and drives impact. With that being said, Molly, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about our conversation.
Anytime. Happy to have you here. Awesome. Let's dive in. I always love to start at the very beginning. So please go ahead and take us back in time before you even had your company, your practice, and tell us what were you doing before? What were you up to? And then eventually, what motivated you to start a company?
Yeah. Prior to starting my coaching business, I did several different things. I had been in PR, I had dabbled in my own small businesses, and primarily right before starting my business, I was a stay-at-home mom with three kids. And that's what I was doing. And I loved it. And I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And I always knew that as my kids got older, I would want to dive in more and find that perfect thing that I wanted to do. And sometimes it takes time for that to be revealed, I would say over time, especially with the type of business that I do. So that's what I was doing
Yeah.
before. And I can tell you my beginning of coaching journey as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just say that having three kids, that's like a full-time job in itself. But yeah, go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you got into coaching.
Yeah, when I got into coaching, it was, which I find this is often the case with coaches, especially coaches who do really deep work with their clients, at some point we face somewhat of an internal existential crisis, like we're facing a lot of things, right? And oftentimes those experiences in life that force us to face what is inside of us, how we are operating in our life, really can move transformation. And ultimately, mine came side by side and hand in hand with starting my own journey of my business. So at the time I found coaching, as I said, I had my three kids. I believe my youngest was two or three, maybe. And I actually had been dealing with chronic fatigue syndrome, which was something that had hit me pretty much overnight. I'm a very high energy person. I love to exercise. Like anyone who knows me would be confused even imagining me having chronic fatigue
Mm.
syndrome. But I did, and it really knocked me out. It made it hard for me to have the energy I needed every day with my kids and in my life. And so at the time, I was healing from that. It was getting better. And yet, at the same time, my marriage was really struggling. And I know many people can relate to this at some level, right? We've all had those times. It's like managing the kids, struggling with my health, all the layers of feelings around that and frustration, and then struggling in the marriage. So, this is all going on. And meanwhile, in the midst of it, it was actually my sister who was she's a therapist and she was doing her own coaching business and said, "Hey, I want to do a practice session with you on this methodology that I'm learning." So we had a session and I still remember where I was. I was on my back porch. I was on the phone and I was pacing around as we were talking. And it was one of those moments in time that I could feel and see everything shifting in my mind. It was like this new perspective opened up so big and wide around situations in my life that I thought I understood well, if that makes sense. And so it was a very life-changing moment. And I remember thinking, okay, this is something, and I know I want to do this for other people. So that happened. And of course, at the time, I had so much going on. But within a few months of that, the program where my sister had trained, opened up one more offering that was starting that year, taught by the founder. And so this one day I'm going to do this became right now. And
Wow.
I started my training and I went all in. When I found this coaching approach, which has now evolved by the way, but it really I just knew that it was meant for me. I knew that it had come into my life at a time when I needed it personally, and I was ready to step into it professionally simultaneously. I just went all in from there.
You know what? It's hard to believe that this would be a coincidence. This kind of
Right.
opportunity opening up in front of you right after having this kind of aha moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the universe works.
Yeah.
Amazing story, Molly. Let's switch to what the current business looks like nowadays, okay? First,
Mm-hmm.
help the customers, help the listeners understand who is your ideal customer. And the way I love to put it is, who do you help and what do you help them with?
Mm-hmm. So I have two main offerings right now, just highlights from. So when I started my coaching business, of course, I was working with individuals. I was coaching them, and simultaneously, I did a lot of work with training coaches doing contract work. So I've had this interesting experience of coaching individuals, doing my personal work, and mentoring and teaching and training other people, which has evolved into what my business really is today. And so I have two main ways that I help people. One is if someone's listening to this and they're a coach that wants to go deeper into mind, emotion, nervous system, and really deep transformation, that would be for them. Or if someone is feeling called that they want to do this. So my master coach training program, it's advanced coaching techniques where we're understanding human cognition. We're understanding how and where and why big emotions come up and block us and stop us, whether it's professionally or personally. And then we also work with the nervous system. So it's really a holistic master coach training, this whole person approach. Because you and I both know, right? I can Google solutions for something. I can ask ChatGPT for solutions. It's all there. But why don't we actually move things forward? And it's because we have these different parts of us inside, including a nervous system that is very working very hard to keep up with how everything has changed. So that's one element of my business is advanced training for coaches. It's deep work and it's just my heart and soul of the training that I do. And I can tell about the other one too, but I want any more questions because I know I just am like a fire hose of
No,
information.
it's good information, and you're giving us a high-level overview, so I appreciate it. Now, yeah, go ahead and tell us about the second offer that you have going on.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to speak about this. This has actually been something that was in the works for 3 years. It's been on my heart. I've wanted to bring it forth as I've been working with coaches. My favorite part about working with coaches is the ways they change personally. And so I opened a membership that is a membership for women who are, and I know this describes so many women who feel like they are high responsibility, so much on their plate, they're juggling everything, and they're the type of woman who is ambitious and really wanting to do life well, who cares about her relationship, cares about her success. And ultimately this membership is a place where that woman can come to get the support she needs in handling all the things in her life, get the support she needs in up-leveling professionally, in making more money, right, in her business or professionally, assuming that's a key value and priority for her. And ultimately, it's really a place where I'm helping women to understand themselves and understand how to navigate their emotions because nobody teaches us how to do that. And that is the big problem that we're all suffering with right now. That's why stress levels are high because none of us actually know what to do with our emotions in life.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was just about to say, you said it yourself, there's a lot of women that sound just like that, but I feel like this goes for all of us, especially in
It's
today's day and age, you know.
It's true. It's true. And it's just obviously I'm speaking to women, but men and women just oftentimes, and this is not universal, obviously, but those who've been conditioned as women and those who've been conditioned as men have slightly different flavors of this same issue. And
Hmm.
and I think the good thing is I do believe more and more we're understanding our emotional world, we're understanding emotional needs, and we're deciding to figure out how to do better. Because
Absolutely.
the problem is that this is the reason me, you, anyone listening here, not really understanding what to do with our emotions, where they come from, how to handle them. This is why we're disconnected in our relationships. This is why we're reactive to one another. This is why we shut down. This is why all of the bad habits that we have and all of the ways we show up that we don't like, it stems from not knowing how to work with our emotional world. That's what it boils down to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could be talking to you about this for hours because I'm very passionate about these kind of topics, but you're absolutely right, especially if somebody's trying to juggle everything at once and life is coming at you and you don't even know how to be there for yourself. So then how could you
That's right.
possibly expect to be there for somebody else? So,
That's right.
um,
And we're taught we're not supposed to be there for ourselves. Way back,
yeah,
it's that's selfish.
exactly.
So what do we do
Exactly.
with that? Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Amazing, Molly. Okay, now let's switch to the back end of the business a little bit. Now that we understand who it is that you're looking to help, what are you currently doing from lead generation standpoint to actually bring in new clients?
Mm-hmm. So this is a great question, and the first thing I will say to everyone listening is I think we all as entrepreneurs need to be patient with ourselves and understand that something will work for a while and then sometimes it won't work anymore, and that's very normal. And there is also not a one size fits all, absolutely not. And things are changing at lightning speed as well, what's working and what's not. So, on the back end, one of the things that I have really been working on and am still working on, and I hate to call it a weakness because I like to think of things always as opportunities, but I would definitely
Yeah.
say, because I know a lot of people will relate to this, is that I've been really working to slow down and be more strategic in how I'm approaching lead generation. And part of that is has been cleaning up the back end of the business. So I but as far as what we're doing right now, running ads, Facebook and Instagram, and tweaking that. And I think that it's important that we always remember that when we're running ads and we're tweaking things, there's a lot of different things to look at, right? Instead of just the ads are working or they're not, the offer's working or it's not. And ultimately, the thing that I'm actually right now in the midst of working on for the new year is how to really leverage my podcast and other podcasts as well and speaking opportunities because I know for me, my favorite thing to do is to actually have an experience with people. And I know for me, I can say that when I actually am able to teach people and have a conversation with them, they feel they get a feel and a sense for what the work is. And I think that's like the most compelling thing, certainly for my ideal clients. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I love it. I love it. And I see that you guys are investing into advertising, which means that you're definitely looking to connect with as many people and help as many people as possible, which is amazing. Now, from sales point, just to give the listeners a better idea of a company that you have going on, are you the one taking all the sales calls, or have you already built a team to work with you, or how does that work?
You know what? It's like there was a time when it's definitely fluctuated in my business over time. And I currently do my calls for master coach training. It is a very high level program. It is high ticket. And I really appreciate having that personal experience with people. So they fill out the application and then I have that call with them. And the membership is just a join membership. And when I've done some of my lower tier programs, I've had someone from my team do those calls. But it's just speaking to, again, your audience, and it's very helpful when you can move to having other people do the calls. And also, I think it's a decision that is very personal, I would say.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Especially if you see your business as your baby, which happens a lot of times.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially because the nature of the program that I offer, it really is a very personal experience for
Mhm.
people. So
Yeah,
it's not just and so I think that personal connection goes a long way.
absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Molly, just to respect your time here, I'm going to switch to the future. So let's say if you think about the next 6 or 12 months, what are some of the goals, targets, revenue, milestones that you have set for yourself? Whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, I'm in the midst right now of setting those actually as we're recording this because we're just heading into fourth quarter. But because this membership is new, we're going to be putting together the numbers on it. And so I'll have to share those with you when I have them. But
Fair
the
enough.
master, yeah, the master coach training program, I like to keep it very small and personal. We'll have up to 15 people in that high level personal experience. And the membership, my plan is to grow it and expand it as much as possible. And we'll be setting those numbers. And ultimately, down the road, if I look ahead 5 years from now, I want to be doing more of these experiences in person. I want to be doing in person retreats and supporting women. So, more to come on
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. 100%.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Molly, I do have one last question for you to wrap it up. And this is actually one of my favorite questions ever. So, you've been in business for quite some time now. So, if you could magically snap your fingers and sit across the table from yourself, but this would be yourself from years ago, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give yourself? And this could be business related, this could be personal, again, whatever comes to your mind.
Yeah. The best advice that I would give is just be so patient with yourself and trust the path because the things you feel about how important this work is and the things you feel about the possibility in this business and what it can create for your life and for your kids, that feeling is real. So trust it even when you get discouraged and just keep going.
Simple but powerful. Just give it time and trust the process.
Yeah.
I love it. Amazing. Awesome. I feel like this pretty much wraps up another insightful episode of Founders Future. So, a huge thank you to you, Molly, for taking the time and sharing your story. Now, if somebody wanted to reach out, connect with you, perhaps even work with you, what is the best way to go about that?
You can find me at mollyclaire.com. I'm on Instagram, Molly Claire Coaching, and my podcast is Life Mastered with Molly Claire. So definitely check out the podcast. We have over 200 episodes. Most of the episodes are focused on coaching mastery because it was the Masterful Coach podcast, and now it's switched to Life Mastered, but good stuff in there. But basically, if you Google Molly Claire, you'll find me.
Awesome. Amazing. Now, for our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you, be sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And if you're a business owner, more specifically a coach, consultant, or an agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business and really enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to see how exactly we went from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing, and I'll see you on the next one.